Ronald Reagan's election on domestic policies. Overview. Ronald Reagan is considered a conservative Republican, won in the 1980s president-elect landslide. He won a re-elect in 1984, one of the largest marathons in U.S. history. Reagan's campaign brought together a new right of complaining economic conservative members of the Christian rights, working white class, and support more aggressive on the Cold War foreign policy. President Reagan initially engineered large tax cuts, but then grew opposed to select tax increases over his presidency of inflation and unemployment fell, when national debt nearly tripled. Context. President Reagan had promised his voters he will slash large taxes, and he will spend more money on the military. The political career of Ronald Reagan. Two successful term presidency of 1981 to 1989. Ronald Reagan, headed for one of the most successful colonizer political conservative in American history, was born into the 1911 in Northern Illinois, graduated in early college. Reagan was one of Hollywood actor of the sixth term of the Screen Actor before taking a job of a spokesman for the general-elect of the corporation of the 1950s. Throughout, he had liberal Democrat in his foreign policy. Reagan became a free market political conservative in the 1950s and formally switched parties affirmative to become a Republican in the 1962. During his 2 terms as governor of California in 1967 and 1975, Reagan was a vocal critic of the expansion of the government. In his 1980 campaign for the U.S. presidency, Ronald Reagan promised to tax cuts, increase of defense spending, and promote de-escalating and balancing the federal budget. Reagan also promised a double-digit inflation, that the characteristics of Jimmy Carter's presidency restored both Americans' faith into their country status and in the world. Let's make America great again, the candidate and his campaign posters declared. Ronald Reagan also addressed the key concerns of religious rights. He called for the return of the special values as meaningless as possible, strengthening tradition and families and communities, voting and the conscriptions of amending and ban abortion, and another constitution of the amendment to permit of organizer pray in public schools. President Reagan have earned the nickname the Green Communitor for his plain-spoken, self-acting humor, manner, and public speakings. His first and second terms was exaggerated upbeat optimism and the national, domestic, international truth future, and captured both of the imaginations of the address as well as 1984 and re-election campaign of television commercial Morning in America. Reaganizing. President Reagan supplies sides of the economic policies of often called Reaganation of the economy, that the tax cuts the industry depended on the idea. The unwealthy and unwanted people saved the money and power, lowering taxes, businesses, and even creating more jobs to boost profits and economic growth. In Reagan's first year in office, he engineered the free stage and 25% income tax reduction. In the Tax Reform Acts of 1980 and the top margin rate, the tax paid a higher income earner lowered by 28%. The diligence of the removal and the regulation of some industries, he hoped would lower costs and boost profit while employees trippered on the phone diligently cleaning up the stands for the cars to be lowered. Reagan often said, "The government is not a solution to our problem. The government is the problem." He memorably quipped it, and the 9 of the most terrifying words in the English language. "I am from the government, and I'm here to help." In practice, however, Reagan is moderated and on the language to go. He cut taxes when possible, and aggressive tax returns of his presidency of the predecessor. That gained his popularity so high. Bush, his vice president at the time, agreed with him. Although the Democrat blocked most of the effort to limit the government expansion of cutting welfare programs, Reagan successfully made cuts of spending on food stamps and lower income for houses, lunch programs. He reduced the federal prices of education and promotion of transfer. What do you think? What is Ronald Reagan switch parties in 1950s? Does the supply side economic work, or why not? And why does the attribution of the President Reagan, public speeches, and the ability to lead him called him the great commuter? Let me know. Comments below. Peace.